Dear learners, I am Seba. We are going deep into the cash book. In this session, you will learn meaning of cash book and we can study the preparation of simple cash book with bank column and petty cash book. More details into the petty cash book. Cash book is a book in which all cash receipts and cash payments are recorded. It is a book of original entry. All cash book will start with the cash balance or bank balance at the beginning of the period. If it is a new business, no opening cash balance will be there. And when cash book is maintained, cash transactions are not recorded in the journal and no cash account is to be opened in the ledger. And cash book serves the purpose of cash account. Mainly three types of cash book: simple cash book, bank column cash book and petty cash book. Simple cash book records only cash receipts and cash payments. Two sides we have, one is the debit side and one is the credit side in the simple cash book. Left hand side is the debit side, that is the cash receipts are recorded in the left hand side. Right hand side is the credit side, that is cash payments are recorded in the credit side of the cash book. In simple cash book only one amount column will be there, one on the debit side and another amount column on the credit side. In the format of the cash book, we have to first write the date with year, month and date of the transactions are recorded in chronological order, that is according to the order in which they have occurred. In the particulars column, the name of the account in respect of which cash has been received or payment has been made is written. Account relating to cash receipts are recorded on the debit side. Account relating to cash payments are recorded on the credit side. Receipt, account, debit side, payment, account on the credit side. Ledger folio column is there and it records the page number of the ledger book on which the relevant account is prepared. Amount column, amount received will be written on the debit side. Cash paid or amount paid will be written on the credit side. Which rule you have to follow while recording the cash? You know that cash is involved as an asset or cash will come under the asset account. We have already studied capital, asset, revenue, expenses, liability, etc. are the main types of accounts, and under that you can include cash in which account? You can include cash in asset account. And rule for the asset account is increase in asset will be debited and decrease in asset will be credited. Cash book is a book where all the receipts are recorded on the debit side of the cash book. All payments are recorded on the credit side of the cash book. Receipts relating to cash receipts. Payments means cash payments. Here is a question. To prepare a simple cash book with cash balance in the beginning of that month, that is cash in hand. Opening cash balance is given in this question. Cash received from Neetu, insurance premium paid and furniture purchased. How you will record in the cash book? Opening balance will be recorded on the debit side. Cash received from Neetu, entry will be cash account debit to Neetu. Insurance premium account debit to cash. Furniture account debit to cash. See how it is coming in the cash book? Opening balance, date and amount in the respective columns. Cash is received from Neetu. So, to Neetu on the debit side of the cash book. Date and amount in the respective column. Insurance premium paid. It is an expense. Payments on the credit side of the cash book. And date and amount in the respective column. Furniture purchase. So, that is also in the form of a payment to this organization. So, it is an expense for this organization. When furniture is purchased, cash is paid. So, furniture debit to cash. So, you are writing on the credit side of the cash book by furniture, date and amount in the respective columns. Some more transactions. Sold goods for cash. Cash account debit to sales. Purchase goods from Naman for cash. Purchases debit to cash. Cash paid to Rohini. Rohini debit to cash. Sold goods to Kanika for cash. Cash account debit to sales. So let me see how this is coming in the cash book. In the cash book, December 14th, cash sales made. Cash account debit to sales. That is receipts of money. As a result of sales, cash is coming inside the business. So, cash account debit to sales. So, in the cash book on the debit side you are posting. Then, December 18, purchase goods for cash. Purchases debit to cash. You are posting on the credit side. Why? Because it is an expense. All payments on the credit side. So, buy purchases. Date and amount in the respective columns. Then December 25th. Cash sales made again. So, cash account debit to sales. Receipts are coming inside the business in the form of cash. So, it is a revenue. So, you are writing on the debit side of the cash book to sales 18,700 amount. Then cash paid to Rohini. Rohini is the receiver of the cash. So, Rohini debit to cash. On the payment side, you are writing by Rohini date and amount in the respective columns. Some more transactions. Cash deposited into bank. Bank account debit to cash. Rent paid. Rent account debit to cash. Salary paid. Salary account debit to cash. How it is coming in the cash book? On the credit side, bank to cash. So, posting on the credit side, payment side. Rent paid. Buy rent on the credit side. Buy salary on the credit side, payment. So, when you are preparing this whole cash book, it will come in this way. You have written the opening balance, all receipts on the debit side, all payments on the credit side. So, then you have to total or balance this cash book. How you will balance it? You have to total both sides, debit side and credit side. Debit side total came to 74,700. Credit side total came to 53,200. So, there is a shortage on the credit side, that is amounting to rupees 21,500. You have to write biggest total on both sides, that is 74,700. You have to write the total. Then balance two sides, that is on the credit side now you got 53,200. On the debit side you got 74,700. So, difference will come to 21,500. That you have to write on the side where there is shortage. Usually, simple cash book will have the shortage only on the credit side. There in the particulars column, what you will write? You have to write balance carried down. And the date will be the last day of that particular month, December 31st. There, December 31st, balance carried down 21,500. This amount will be brought down in the beginning of the next month or here next year. That is in 2014 December 31st, we got a balance of 21,500. We have brought down on January 1st as balance brought down. 2015 January 1st balance brought down. Which amount you have to bring down? That is 21,500. So, you are clear with balancing also. Then, how you will post the cash book? Account appearing on the debit side of the cash book is posted on the credit side in the relevant ledger. Account appearing on the credit side of the cash book is posted on the debit side of the relevant ledger. Cash book is a form of cash account. So, no cash account is maintained in the ledger. Posting of the debit side of the cash book. Here we have cash account debit to sales as an entry. We have already posted in the cash book. So, how you will post in the sales book? You have to open sales account and post on the credit side by cash, amount and date in the respective columns. In the debit side of the cash book, you have seen the sales and you are opening that account, and on the credit side you are posting. Then Tina's account. In the cash book, on the debit side, you must have posted this. Then on the credit side of the Tina's account, you have to post by cash, date and amount in the respective columns. Posting of credit side of the cash book. Purchases account debit to cash. So, in the cash book, you have posted on the credit side by purchases. In the purchases account, you have to post on the debit side to cash, date and amount in the respective columns. Now coming to another type of cash book, that is bank column cash book. When the number of bank transactions are large in an organization, it is necessary to have a separate book to record bank transactions. Instead of having a separate book to record bank transactions, a column is added on each side of the simple cash book, that is bank column cash book. Here is a format. Just like a simple cash book, one more column I have added for the amount, that is the bank column. Date, particulars, ledger folio, cash amount column and bank amount column on both sides, one on the debit side and on the credit side. In bank column cash book, the cash transactions are recorded in the same manner as recorded in the simple cash book. Bank column cash book records transactions relating to bank also. Special treatment in the bank column cash book is given to opening balance, receipt of checks, contra entries and bank charges. Opening balance. Usually, opening cash balance will be there on the debit side of the cash book. If opening bank balance is also on the debit side of the cash book, then you have to write that on the debit side. If a business firm has rupees 12,000 as cash in hand and rupees 15,000 as overdraft in the bank, how you will record? 12,000 as opening balance in the bank column cash book, to balance brought down amount in the cash column 12,000 and bank overdraft of rupees 15,000, that is recorded on the credit side. Extra amount you have withdrawn from the bank, that is over and above your balance you have withdrawn some amount in extra. That will be repaid by you after some time. So, this is an overdraft. It will be posted on the credit side of the bank column cash book. Amount will come in the bank column. Amount should come in the bank column. Receipt of checks. Usually, cash receipts will be written in the cash column. Check receipt will be written in the bank column. Check deposited in the bank on the same date will be recorded in the bank column debit side. Check receipt but not deposited in the bank on the same date will be recorded in the cash column debit side. Example, on May 2nd, 2014, a check received from Tarun, rupees 7,000 and is deposited on the same date. So, it will be posted in the bank column. So, date 2014 May 2nd, bank column cash book, you will write on the debit side in the particulars column to Tarun, that is amount is coming from Tarun, and amount will be written in the bank column because check is deposited on the same date. So, you will write the amount in the bank column 7,000. In the above case, this check is deposited on May 10, 2014. Then the entry on May 2nd will be like this because it is not deposited on the same date. Check is not deposited on the same date, that is May 2nd. So, on May 2nd you will post like this. In the cash book, you will write on the debit side to Tarun, amount will be written in the cash column. Date May 2nd, cash column amount 7,000. When there is a transaction that relates to both cash and bank, this will be written on one side of the bank column and on the other side of the cash column. Such transactions are known as contra entries. The letter C is written in the ledger folio column on both sides against these entries. In case cash is withdrawn from the bank for office use, it is entered on the credit side of the bank column and also in the debit side of the cash column of the cash book. Here is a transaction. On May 15th, 2014, cash is withdrawn from the bank for office use is rupees 2000. How you will write this in the bank column cash book? Check is withdrawn from bank. Entry will be cash account debit to bank. You will post in the bank column cash book. On the credit side, buy cash, amount will be written in the bank column. And on the debit side to bank, amount will be written in the cash column. On both sides in the ledger folio column, we will write C as representing the contra entries. So in the bank column cash book, you will write contra entries on both sides. So when cash is withdrawn from the bank, cash account debit to bank. So in order to make you think how this amount is coming in the respective column, I have drawn this account. If you are writing directly in the bank account, how you will post? You will write on the credit side buy cash, and this amount column is the bank column. No, bank accounts amount column. That is why in the bank column cash book we are writing the amount in the bank column. Same transaction. So if it is coming in the bank column cash book, how it will come? See, buy cash in the bank column you are writing on the credit side. See the same entry how you have posted on the debit side if you are opening a cash account. In the cash account, you will write to bank, same entry. And amount is the amount column of cash. So, this is the cash amount column. This is just for making you think why I am posting the amount in the cash account or cash column. If you are drawing the cash account, how you will post? That is the way you have to think. You have to think in this way that in the cash account you will post the amount of the cash column. So when you are opening, you will write here cash account debit to bank and the amount column only here. So when you are opening the cash book with bank column, it will be posted on the debit side to bank and amount will come in the cash column. Similarly, when cash is deposited, that is also a contra entry. When cash is deposited in the bank, the amount is recorded on the debit side of the bank column and on the credit side of the cash column of the cash book. Letter C is written in the ledger folio column on both sides against these entries. So cash is deposited in the bank rupees 3000, that is the transaction on May 15, 2014. How it will come in the bank column cash book? Cash is deposited, bank account debit to cash, that is the entry. On the credit side, you will post buy bank and amount in the cash column. On the debit side, you will write to cash amount in the bank column. When you are depositing the cash, what will be the entry? Bank account debit to cash. So, when you think about the cash account, how you have to post it, this is not a part of the cash book, but I am telling just to make you aware why I am writing the amount in the cash column. When I am writing buy bank, why I am writing the amount in the cash column? Just check this. Entry will be bank account debit to cash when money is deposited in the bank. So, in the cash account where you will post buy bank on the credit side. So, this amount column is of which account? Cash amount column. That is why I am posting in the double column cash book buy bank and I am writing in the cash column. Endorsement of checks. When check received from customer is given to another party, that is known as endorsement. That is, check is endorsed. On receipt of that endorsed check, it is recorded on the debit side of the cash column. On endorsement of the check, the amount is recorded on the credit side of the cash column of the cash book. Example, on May 22nd, 2014, a check of rupees 8,000 is received from Messrs. JP Traders. On May 27, 2014, it was endorsed. It was given in favor of Messrs. Kapila Traders. How you will record in the cash book? When you have received a check from JP Traders, you have recorded on the receipt side to JP Traders. Date May 22nd, amount in the cash column 8,000. When you have endorsed to Kapila Traders, then you have to record on the credit side by Kapila Traders, May 27, amount in the cash column. Bank charges. If bank charges any interest, like outstation, check collection charges, etc., are entered on the credit side of the bank column of the cash book. If bank gives interest, collects commission, etc., these will be recorded on the debit side of the bank column of cash book. Here is a question for preparing cash book with bank column. On January 1st, bank balance is given and cash balance is given. Purchase goods by check. Purchases account debit to bank. Goods sold for cash. Cash account debit to sales. Cash to sales. So, in the cash column, you will write this. Purchase typewriter by check. Typewriter being an asset. Typewriter debit to bank. Bank balance decreases. See how it is coming in the cash book with bank column. January 1st, to balance brought down in the cash column and in the bank column opening balance. January 3rd, purchase goods and paid by check. Purchases account debit to bank. In the bank column you have to write. Goods sold for cash. January 8th. In the cash column, cash account debit to sales in the cash column. Purchase typewriter and paid by check. On the credit side, you have to post by typewriter in the bank column. Typewriter debit to bank. Date in the respective column. Sold goods and received check. Deposited on the same day. So, bank account debit to sales. Purchase stationery by check. Stationery debit to bank. Cash deposited into bank. This is a contra entry, bank to cash. 10,000. January 15th. Sales made and payment received by check. So, in the bank column, you have to write the amount. Bank balance increases. As it is a receipt, you are posting on the debit side of the cash book to sales. January 17th, paid stationery and payment is made by check. So, by stationery, amount in the bank column. Cash is deposited in the bank. Entry will be bank account debit to cash. So, on the credit side, by bank. Debit side to cash. When you are writing by bank, you will post in the cash column. When you are writing to cash, you will post in the bank column. Date you have to put by reading the transaction, and representing that it is a contra entry, you have to write capital C in the ledger folio column. Paid cartage 500 rupees. Check given to Mudit 7,000. Rent paid by check. Paid salary. Paid cartage, cartage debit to cash. Mudit debit to bank. Rent to bank, salary to cash. So, cartage to cash. So, in the cash column you are posting. Mudit to bank. In the bank column you are posting. Rent to bank. In the bank column you are posting. Salary to cash. In the cash column you are posting. So, when you see all the transactions together, bank column cash book will look like this. Balance of cash and bank. Opening balance all receipts on the debit side, all payments on the credit side, and you have to balance both columns, cash column and bank column. Here you have to write biggest total on both sides. Biggest total came to 21,800 in the cash column, and you have to write that amount as total on both sides of the cash book in the cash column. Difference will be written as balance carried down. The difference amount came to 7,800. So, it will be written on the last date of that particular month, January 31st, balance carried down. Similarly, you are balancing bank column also in order to find out the bank balance. Biggest total on both sides of the bank column, 50,400. Difference came to 28,700. That balance will be brought down in the beginning of the next month. Balance brought down 28,700 in the bank column, and in the cash column 7,800. Posting of the bank column, cash book. No bank account will be opened. Contra entries need not to be posted. Other accounts of the cash book will be maintained. Posting of debit side of the bank column, cash book. Sales account, you will write on the credit side by cash, date and amount in the respective columns. Posting on the credit side of the bank column, cash book. Purchases account on the debit side to bank on different dates and amount in the respective column. Wages account debit to cash, so on the debit side you are posting. Trade expenses debit to bank, on the debit side you are posting. Salary debit to cash, on the debit side you are posting. Rent debit to cash, on the debit side you are posting. Coming to petty cash book, in big business organization, a large number of repetitive small payments such as conveyance, cartage, postage, telegrams, courier and other expenses are made. These organizations appoint an assistant to the head cashier. The appointed cashier is known as petty cashier. He makes payments of petty expenses. Petty cashier maintains separate cash book for this. In petty cash book, there are number of columns for the amount on the payment side. Each column allotted to items of specific payments like postage, conveyance, refreshment, etc. Last column for miscellaneous payment. The amount which is paid to the petty cashier at the beginning of a period is known as impressed amount. Under impress system of petty cash book, the petty cashier is reimbursed with the amount equivalent to what is spent during the previous month. Format of the petty cash book with amount, date, particulars, voucher number, amount paid and its bifurcations like postage, telephone expenses, telegram, conveyance, stationery, etc. Here is a question. Mr. Sumit, the petty cashier of Messrs. Travel India received rupees 2000 on April 1st, 2014 from the head cashier. Prepare petty cash book on impress system. So, under impress system, he is receiving 2000 every month. Some expenses I have given: auto fare, courier services, postage, pencils, etc. So, in the petty cash book, how it will come? In the petty cash book, amount received, cash received on April 1st, 2014, 2000. On the debit side, you are writing. In the cash book also, you will write on the debit side, cash received. And in the particulars column here, you will write both receipt accounts and payment accounts. So, for auto fare, you have made payment. Courier, you have made payment for rupees 50. Postage for rupees 95 and pencils as a stationery, you have made payment for 65 rupees. So, analysis of payments, you have to prepare columns like this: postage, telegram, conveyance, stationery. So, auto fare, conveyance, in the conveyance column I have written. Courier, postage, another item, so that also I have written in the postage column. Pencils, 65 rupees in the stationery column. and you have to total what all payments you have made. It came to 410. Balance two sides, that is 2000 minus 410 will give you a balance of 1590. Last date of that particular month, balance carried down 1590. It will be brought down in the beginning of next month, May 1st, balance brought down 1590. And the cash will be received, remaining cash will be received. Whatever this petty cashier has spent will be received from the main cashier, that is 410 he spent. So that amount is the cash received on May 1st again, brought down amount and the amount that is received. One more petty cash book. Here also cash received is 2000. We have met expenses for speed post 140. So in the postage I have written. Taxi fare in the conveyance column I have written. Refreshment I have written in the miscellaneous expenses. Photostat 165 rupees in the miscellaneous column. You have to total all the analysis of payments column also, and then total both sides. 2000 is the biggest total and you have spent 700 rupees. Then remaining will be the balance carried down 1300. That amount will be brought down in the beginning of next month, May 1st, balance brought down 1300. So from the petty cashier, this month also he should receive 700 rupees. So dear learners, in this lesson we have learned meaning of cash book and we have studied the preparation of simple cash book with bank column and petty cash book. Thank you.